Hello again, my dear viewers. March 15th continues in IARD and my second material is reports from the fronts. Moreover, today we will not focus on the entire front, because I will probably make a more general overview of the entire front line in Ukraine in the evening. We will now concentrate on the main thing, because a key event took place today, a breakthrough on the Donetsk front in the Gorlovka region. Remember, yesterday, when I made an analytical forecast, a day ago, taking into account the data that came to me, I will honestly say, only open data. I didn't leak anything. I suggested that the most logical possible situation could be the encirclement of the Donetsk group, that is, strikes from Yasin over Gorlovka bypassing Avdiivka and further closing the encirclement around the Donetsk grouping of the armed forces of Ukraine in the Pokrovsk region, because simultaneously with the invader there will be an offensive operation from the south through Kharkovo and further also to Pokrovsk. The fact that there is something remarkable was already visible. The environment since yesterday morning, that is, the presence of aviation work in Russia and artillery has been growing from hour to hour. The real observation coverage for the armed forces of Ukraine is approximately 21-22 hours. It was very difficult to describe what was going on there at that time in the Avdiivka area. Local residents say that we have not seen such a fiery strike either in 2014 or 2015. Konashenkov said that troops from the Gorlovka region, having broken through the front, arrived in the second Novoslovka region. You have technical capabilities, from this front line, which are engaged by the troops of the Donetsk People's Republic, and there are also Russian units there as of the late evening to the place -8 kilometers. This means that from 10 p.m. to about 8 a.m., that is, within 10 hours, the troops advanced 8 kilometers. Moreover, we have advanced by several premiums, well-echeloned, concreted fortified, which were created over 7 years. Moreover, the 95th Air Mobile Brigade stood against the breakthrough detachments, very combat-ready units of the armed forces of Ukraine. And in just a few hours they rolled her into the ground. That is, the Russian Federation is able to break through defense in depth in just a few hours. In fact, I probably don't remember such a breakthrough since the Great Patriotic War. So quickly, for what reason and with such an effect, it was done. That is, all superiority at the waterfall, all superiority in artillery and the result, in 10 hours a breakthrough on the verge of dispersion up to 8 kilometers. Well, and further, taking into account the fact that the reserves of the Ukrainian groups in this appendix are already considered as separate battles, holding the Russian troops will be very, very difficult. The armed forces of Ukraine have closed the pincers of the encirclement, and those who only yesterday fired at the quarters of Donetsk will be encircled. And then, if we look at the map, we understand that at the same time a grouping will begin from the north. Another boiler is noted, living in Bakhmut. And, therefore, the entire Ukrainian Donetsk front is also invested in the encirclement. And the Russian troops, following the results of this operation, will most likely reach the Lozovaya, Prigrodny, Zaporozhye line. Thus, the first phase of the reaction of Russian troops in Ukraine was completed. Then there will be a cleanup of these places, a regrouping of troops and further movement to the west. And here I also want to purposefully attack today those people who say that, probably, Minsk III, they do not understand anything about what is happening. There can be no Minsk agreements yet. Minsk III was possible until March 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Today, Moscow will not enter into any operations with the operational regime. From this, only unconditional surrender can be accepted, as in 1945, which, in general, correct, logical. These people have already crossed all the boundaries of what is permitted. This is what the most important thing happened today at the front of the line in the Donbass. I emphasize that a more complete review in all directions. There are also many interesting developments in the south, in the Kyiv region. We will talk about all this in the evening. Goodbye and look forward to the next release.